Alright, now we're going to take the identities that we just learned and some of the steps and put them into proving these trig equations. Let's see if I can get it unblurry. There we go. So what we're going to do is our first step is to check and see, can you change anything in your equation into all sines and cosines? And if you can, most likely it's going to simplify. If you can't do that, then you look at the more complicated steps. So the first problem that we have, we pick the more complicated side to change. So the left side to me looks a lot more complicated than secant. So we're going to keep the 1 on top. And the first step I'm going to do is change everything into sines and cosines. So cotangent is equal to cosine of x over sine of x. Cosine of x is already in terms of that, so I'm going to make it cosine of x over 1. Got to extend this out. Then we have tangent, which is sine of x over cosine of x. So that's my left side just rewritten in terms of all sines and cosines. If you can cancel anything out, it will make life a whole lot easier. So you look and say, okay, I have a sine in my denominator. I also have a sine in my numerator, so those cancel. I have a cosine in my denominator and a cosine in my numerator. Now there's 2 cosines in the numerator, only one will cancel. So what we have left, we have our 1 over, and then if you look at all 3 of these fractions, the only thing that's left is cosine of x over 1. And then we have to prove that this is equal to secant. Well, what this really is 1 over cosine. And through my reciprocal identities, I know that 1 over cosine is equal to secant of x. Check, I have just proved this problem. Next one we have is cosecant of x times cosine of x equal to cotangent. So once again, the left side is more difficult. So we're going to start with the left side, change them into sines and cosines if possible. So cosecant, that's 1 over sine of x. Now this process may not always be the most efficient, but it will almost always get you to an answer. Cosine is cosine of x over 1. Well, we have 2 fractions being multiplied. Nothing can cancel, so all I can do is push them together and hope something works. So we've got cosine of x over sine of x. I'm trying to prove that that's equal to cotangent of x. Through the quotient identity, cosine of x over sine of x is cotangent of x.